Never do this with a young woman if you are an older man. Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." But what happens when the enemy is your own lack of wisdom and self-control? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most crucial lessons from Stoic philosophy that every mature man needs to understand. If you're over 40, 50, or beyond, and you interact with younger women in your professional or personal life, this video could save you from making devastating mistakes that destroy relationships, reputations, and your own peace of mind. I'm going to share 7 critical principles from the greatest Stoic masters that will transform how you approach these interactions. Stay until the end, because principle number 7 is the one that changed everything for me personally. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we explore timeless wisdom from ancient philosophies to solve modern problems. Before we begin, let me be crystal clear about what this video is and isn't. This isn't about restricting natural human connections or creating unnecessary barriers. This is about applying 2,000-year-old Stoic wisdom to navigate complex social dynamics with honor, respect, and genuine wisdom. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from self-mastery, not from what others think of us or how they respond to us. Today's lesson comes primarily from Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, 3 men who understood power, influence, and the responsibility that comes with both. Hit that like button if you're ready to level up your character, and let's dive in. Let's start with the fundamental truth that Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Principle 1. Never mistake admiration for availability. The first critical mistake older men make with younger women is confusing professional respect or friendly admiration with romantic or sexual interest. Think about this scenario. You're a successful 45-year-old professional. A bright 25-year-old colleague seeks your mentorship. She laughs at your stories, values your experience, maybe even compliments your wisdom. Your ego whispers, she's interested in more than just professional guidance. This is where Stoicism saves you from yourself. Epictetus taught us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. When a younger woman shows respect for your experience, she's honoring the knowledge you've accumulated. She's not necessarily attracted to you personally. I learned this lesson the hard way early in my career. I was mentoring a talented young professional, and I completely misread her respect for my expertise as personal interest. When I acted on this misperception, I not only damaged our professional relationship, but also lost her trust and respect entirely. The Stoic response? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, confine yourself to the present. Stay present to what's actually happening, not what your ego wants to be happening. Practical application. When receiving compliments or attention from younger women, pause and ask, am I responding to reality or to my ego's interpretation? Practice the Stoic discipline of perception. See things as they truly are, not as you wish they were. Remember that respect for your knowledge is a gift. Don't cheapen it by misinterpreting it. Principle 2. Never use your position or power as leverage. This principle goes to the heart of Stoic ethics. Seneca wrote, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. If you hold a position of authority, whether you're a boss, mentor, teacher, or simply someone with more life experience and resources, using that position to pursue personal relationships with younger women isn't just inappropriate, it's fundamentally un-Stoic. Why? Because it violates the core Stoic principle of treating others as equals in dignity and worth. Marcus Aurelius, literally the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, constantly reminded himself that his power was temporary and should be used for the benefit of others, not for personal gain. Consider the executive, who offers career opportunities to young employees in exchange for personal attention, or the older man who uses his financial resources to create dependency in younger women. These behaviors reveal a profound lack of self-mastery, the very foundation of Stoic philosophy. The Stoic approach recognizes that true relationships, romantic or otherwise, can only exist between equals. When there's a significant power imbalance, genuine consent and authentic connection become nearly impossible. Practical applications. Before any interaction, ask, "Am I using my position appropriately here?" Practice the Stoic virtue of justice. Treat others as you would want to be treated if positions were reversed. Remember Epictetus, no one can hurt you without your permission. Now we're getting into the deeper Stoic principles that separate wise men from foolish ones. Principle 3. Never try to recapture your youth through someone else's. This is perhaps the most psychologically complex principle we'll discuss today. Seneca observed, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Many older men are unconsciously trying to recapture their own youth by associating with younger women. This isn't love or even genuine attraction. It's a form of psychological poverty. I've seen successful men in their 50s and 60s completely upend their lives chasing relationships with women young enough to be their daughters. They convince themselves it's about love or chemistry. But if you dig deeper, you'll often find fear. Fear of aging, fear of irrelevance, fear of mortality. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Adapt yourself to the life you've been given, but love the people with whom you share it." Notice he didn't say, "Love the people who make you feel young again." The Stoic path is to embrace each season of life fully, not to run from it. Principle 4, never confuse teaching with preaching. This principle is crucial for any older man who finds himself in a mentoring relationship with younger women. Epictetus was a teacher, and he understood the difference between sharing wisdom and imposing your worldview. He said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." The mistake many older men make is turning every interaction into a lecture. They feel compelled to share all their life lessons, to educate younger women about how the world really works. This behavior is patronizing and reveals insecurity rather than wisdom. True Stoic mentorship involves listening more than speaking, asking questions rather than giving answers, sharing experiences when requested, not imposing them, respecting the younger person's autonomy and judgment. I once worked with a mentor who would constantly interrupt my ideas to tell me why they wouldn't work based on his experience. Contrast that with another mentor who would listen carefully, ask thoughtful questions, and then share relevant experiences only when I asked for guidance. The second approach embodies the Stoic virtue of wisdom, knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Principle 5, never assume your interest is flattering. This principle addresses one of the most common delusions among older men, the belief that their romantic or sexual interest is inherently flattering to younger women. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself." The harsh truth is that unwanted attention from an older man is often experienced as uncomfortable, threatening, or even creepy by younger women, regardless of how successful, wealthy, or charming you believe yourself to be. This isn't about age discrimination or societal prejudices. It's about recognizing that your perception of yourself may not match how others perceive you. The Stoic response is radical self-honesty. Before expressing interest in a younger woman, ask yourself, am I certain this interest is mutual? Have I clearly received signals of romantic interest, or am I projecting? Would I want my own daughter to receive this type of attention from a man my age? The last question is particularly powerful. It forces you to shift perspective and consider the impact of your actions on others, a fundamental Stoic practice. We're now entering the most sophisticated aspects of Stoic wisdom regarding these relationships. Principle 6. Never mistake loneliness for love. Seneca wrote, "The willing, the favorable, and the desiring lead the way to wisdom. The unwilling, the opposing, and the resistant are dragged along by it." Many older men, especially those going through divorce, career transitions, or other major life changes, find themselves drawn to younger women not out of genuine connection, but out of loneliness and a desire to feel relevant again. This is particularly dangerous because loneliness can make us misinterpret any positive attention as something deeper than it actually is. I knew a man who, after his divorce at 52, became convinced that every younger woman who was kind to him, the barista, who remembered his order, the colleague who laughed at his jokes, the neighbor who waved hello, was interested in him romantically. His loneliness had created a distortion field that made every interaction seem loaded with possibility. This led to a series of awkward situations and eventually to him being asked to leave his local coffee shop after making the staff uncomfortable. The Stoic approach is to address loneliness directly, not to use other people as emotional band-aids. Marcus Aurelius practiced a daily exercise of self-examination. He would ask himself, what am I really seeking here? Connection with another person or validation of my own worth? Practical applications. Develop a rich inner life through meditation, reading, and self-reflection. Build genuine friendships with people of all ages without romantic expectations. Practice solitude as a strength, not as something to escape from. Principle 7. Never forget the power of no. This is the principle that changed everything for me, and it might be the most important lesson in this entire video. Epictetus taught, wealth consists in not having great possessions, but in having few wants. The most powerful thing an older man can do around younger women is often nothing. No flirting, no subtle advances, no testing the waters, just respectful, appropriate interaction. This might sound passive, but it's actually the most active choice you can make. It requires tremendous self-discipline and confidence. When I started applying this principle, something remarkable happened. My relationships with younger colleagues, friends' daughters, and other young women in my life became much more genuine and comfortable. Why? Because when you remove the undercurrent of potential romantic or sexual interest, people can relax around you. They don't have to maintain their guard or wonder about your motives. The Stoic virtue of temperance isn't about denying yourself pleasure. It's about choosing your actions consciously rather than being driven by impulse. Advanced applications. Practice the 24-hour rule. Before acting on any attraction to a younger woman, wait 24 hours and reassess. Develop what Stoics call preferred indifference, the ability to appreciate beauty without needing to possess it. Cultivate relationships where you give without expecting anything in return. The deeper psychology. What the Stoics understood that modern psychology is just discovering is that our need for validation from others often reveals a lack of self-knowledge and self-acceptance. When an older man constantly seeks attention or validation from younger women, he's essentially saying, I don't find enough worth in myself as I am now. I need external validation to feel valuable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. True strength comes from internal validation, not from the admiration of others. Let's get practical. How do you apply these principles in real-world situations? Scenario 1, the workplace dynamic. 1. The workplace dynamic. You're a senior executive, and there's a talented young woman on your team. She's bright, ambitious, and you genuinely enjoy working with her. How do you maintain an appropriate relationship? The Stoic approach. Focus entirely on professional development and achievement. Provide the same level of mentorship and opportunity you would to a young man. Keep all interactions professional and documented. If you find yourself looking forward to meetings for non-professional reasons, reassign the mentoring relationship to the social situation. You're at a party or social gathering, and you find yourself attracted to a much younger woman. She's engaging in conversation and seems to enjoy talking with you. The Stoic response. Enjoy the conversation for what it is. Intellectual stimulation and human connection. Don't escalate or pursue beyond appropriate social interaction. If you feel tempted to ask for her number or suggest meeting privately, step back and reassess your motivations. Practice what Marcus Aurelius called the discipline of desire, appreciating without needing to possess. The family friend. This is perhaps the most delicate situation. You're friends with the family and their adult daughter, still much younger than you, seems, to seek out your company at family gatherings. The Stoic guidelines. Assume positive intent. She likely values your wisdom and perspective as an elder. Maintain appropriate boundaries while being warm and supportive. Include others in conversations when possible. If you ever feel the dynamic shifting, address it immediately with distance and discretion. The communication framework. The Stoics were master communicators. Here's how to apply their principles. 1. Clarity over cleverness. Say what you mean directly. Don't hide behind humor or innuendo. 2. Questions over statements. Ask about their goals, interests, and perspectives rather than lecturing. Present focus. Stay engaged with the actual conversation, not with fantasies about what might develop. 4. Respectful distance. Maintain appropriate physical and emotional boundaries. Building authentic relationships. The beautiful irony is that when you remove romantic or sexual agenda from your interactions with younger women, you often build much richer, more meaningful relationships. I have several younger female colleagues and friends now who seek out my advice precisely because they know I have no agenda beyond their well-being and success. These relationships are infinitely more rewarding than any awkward pursuit could have been. Let's explore the philosophical foundations that make these principles so powerful. The Stoic concept of preferred indifference. The Stoics taught that some things are preferred indifference, things that are naturally appealing but shouldn't control our actions or define our happiness. Physical beauty, youth, and sexual attraction fall into this category. You can appreciate them without needing to act on them or possess them. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He would look at beautiful things, art, nature, people, and appreciate their beauty, while maintaining inner detachment from possessing them. The virtue of justice. For Stoics, justice wasn't just about following laws. It was about treating others with the dignity they deserve as rational beings. When an older man pursues a much younger woman, he often fails to consider the power dynamics at play, the different life stages and developmental needs, the potential for exploitation, even if unintended, the impact on her reputation and relationships. True justice requires considering these factors, not just following your desires. The discipline of action. Epictetus taught 3 disciplines. Desire, what we want. Action, what we do. Assent, what we believe. The discipline of action asks, how should I behave in this situation to serve the greater good? This discipline naturally leads to appropriate behavior around younger women, because it shifts the focus from what do I want to what is the right thing to do here. The long-term perspective. Stoics always considered the long-term consequences of their actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. When you truly embrace the temporary nature of life, the urgent need to pursue every attraction diminishes. You become more selective, more intentional, and ultimately more respectful in all your relationships. As we wrap up this deep dive into Stoic wisdom, I want you to remember that these principles aren't about restricting your life. They're about enhancing it. When you master yourself, when you act from wisdom rather than impulse, when you treat others with genuine respect and dignity, you create a life of integrity and meaning. The older men I most admire aren't the ones chasing validation from younger women. They're the ones who have found peace with who they are, who mentor without agenda, and who contribute to the world through their wisdom and experience. Marcus Aurelius left us with this powerful reminder. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. You have the power to choose your thoughts and therefore your actions. You can choose to be driven by ego and impulse, or you can choose the path of wisdom and self-mastery. Your next steps. 1. Self-assessment. Honestly evaluate your current relationships and interactions with younger women. Are there any dynamics that need adjustment? 2. Daily practice. Implement 1 Stoic practice. Morning reflection, evening review, or mindful observation to strengthen your self-awareness. 3. Boundary setting. Clearly, define what appropriate behavior looks like in your professional and personal contexts. If this video helped you gain new perspective, please hit that like button and subscribe for more ancient wisdom applied to modern life. In the comments below, share which principle resonated most with you But please keep the discussion respectful and philosophical. Next week, we're exploring Stoic principles for building genuine confidence that doesn't depend on others' validation. You won't want to miss it. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every moment you choose wisdom over impulse, you're becoming the person you're meant to be. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and stay stoic. Don't forget to check out these related videos on Stoic wisdom for modern relationships, and hit that notification bell so you never miss new content. Thanks for watching.